I detect a quorum. We have 6 of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know that necessarily anything, except for maybe item 2 needs to come off consent. Is there anything anybody think has a need for come off consent?
Unless, if you'd like to keep it on consent, you could. That's just a letter to approve.
Okay, and I've got that here, so.
Yeah, so you're fine on that.
So,
Yeah, you can keep it on
so
consent.
we'll keep it all on
That's an
consent.
easy one.
Anybody have anything they need to come
Yeah,
off?
I'd like to pull 2 off.
2? All right. So item 2. And so now we have
Did we pull that one?
Lee.
All the consent.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we're going to pull off item 2. And I'll start with 1, RS 2025-1005, resolution exempting Pelican Fly located at 1101 McKinley Avenue for the minimum distance requirements obtaining for a beer permit pursuant to section 7.08.090. Metropolitan Code. Item 3, BL 2020.
Sorry, I meant to pull off 3, not 2.
You want 3?
Yeah, not 2. 2's fine.
Appreciate you, sir.
Sorry.
RS 2025, item 2, RS 2025-1006, resolution exempting Curry Boys Barbecue located at 1304 McGavin Pike from minimum distance requirements obtained for beer permit pursuant to section 7.08.090. We're going to skip number 3. And item 4, BL 2025-694, an ordinance approving amendment number 2 for sole source contract between Metropolitan Government, Nashville, and Davidson County Splash Business Intelligence to extend the term to increase the estimate value on of the contract.
Move.
Second. Third.
Properly moved and seconded. We're going to wait about 5 more seconds so we can have an extra vote. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Wouldn't have it any other way, ma'am.
Is there another agenda?
Now there's 8 of us. So properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Anybody not voting? So 8-0-0. Now we're going to go back to item 3. BL 2025-689, ordinance approving a memorandum of understanding between Metro Beer Board and Metro Department of Codes, Administration Facility, Cooperation Enforcement of Title VII and Chapter 9.20 of Metropolitan Code.
Move.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there a discussion?
Discussion.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to know a little bit more about this. Will the person, or there are 2, right? Hiring 2 full-time people for this position?
So let me be clear on this. So,
Introduce yourself.
yeah, Bill Herbert, Director of Metro Codes. The Codes Department has 2 property standards, funded property standards positions that are unfilled. We are taking that funding and sending it over to the Beer Board and the Mayor's Office of Nightlife. So it's money that we're sending over there, not people and not positions. So they can use that money. Now that money is equivalent to 2 fully funded property standards positions, including cars, phones, everything for a property standards position. We're full on our property standards. We don't need those inspectors. So we're going to send them over to the Beer Board for nightlife enforcement. And they can use that money how they see fit to hire as many positions as they can. It's money that we're sending and not people.
I guess what I'm trying to find out now is this going to be where they're only downtown at night? So in other areas, if there's a loud something or some type of codes violation happening, that they can't help with that?
So this is going to be Benton McDonough's and the Beer Board's jurisdiction, not mine. However, I heard him answer that exact same question last night at Budget and Finance. And his answer was this, is that for right now, it's confined to the downtown area. He hopes that in the future, maybe he could morph it into something bigger. But at this point, he's limited to the downtown area.
I can't support this. I feel like it's targeting the moneymaker for Davidson County, which is downtown. If we've got 1 or 2 codes people walking around looking for something loud among loud buildings, then they're probably going to find that. At the same time, I don't know that we need a position that doesn't allow for the rest of the county to benefit from. You guys know better than anybody on whether you need any more positions or not, as far as to be able to help with inspections of the rest of Davidson County. As a council member who is looking for more from the codes department as far as helping me clean up my area, I certainly think y'all need some help. So I don't know that I would be giving the money, the positions, the cars, all that to another department when that department only seems to be serving a 2 or 3 mile square area, a very small area. And so for me, I would rather see it be where the codes person works at night with loud cars, loud at the house, loud parties at the house, and then be able to address things on Broadway instead of only being able to address things on Broadway and not being able to do the rest of the county. We certainly need, and I've since becoming the council person, understand we need codes people after 5 o'clock, but not just on Broadway.
And
Mr. Benton?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
so we've had this conversation about nighttime enforcement for a long time. And Councilman, we feel like it is really dangerous to put our property standards inspectors on the street at night. They don't have badges. They don't have guns. We feel like it is a serious safety risk for them. I appreciate where you're coming from with respect to the number of positions. We've got 4, as you know, we've got 4 property standards chiefs, and under each one of those chiefs, we've got 6 inspectors. So we've got, and that works out well for us because each chief now has 6 inspectors. We feel like that we're optimized at kind of that status. We have these 2 positions that are there that we have not filled. And we just thought that it would be helpful to a sister agency if we could reach out and help them, that's what we would do. But I understand where you're coming from at night. And years ago, there was a nighttime enforcement that was done through the beer board in conjunction with the fire marshal's office and the police force at the same time.
Yeah.
That has gone away and doesn't exist any longer. But I, honestly, for the safety of my people, I cannot put them on the street at night. It's just too dangerous. Property standards is different. They're not viewed there by the people that are to help. It's not like an inspector that wants you, a building inspector, hey, we need your inspection right now. People don't want to see a property standards inspector come. And they have a hard enough time in rough areas during the daylight hours, and I cannot put them in that position at night. It's just too dangerous.
Mr. Benton?
So, in an effort to try to find that medium ground, and with your guidance and experience, is there an alternative commitment, maybe with cooperation from another department, that you could help us brainstorm to get what we're needing out there, because there is a need? And what would you suggest?
There is a need, and I will be the first to admit that. And for us, it's a balance between the need and keeping our people safe.
Would it have to be M&PD?
I think there's 2 things that made, it was called the Environmental Task Force years ago, and there was 2 things that made that work. It was number 1, the fire marshal. The fire marshal has a really big, powerful badge, which can get them inside any building, anytime. Codes inspectors do not have that. We cannot go into a building without a warrant. So fire marshal doesn't need that. Also, police officers, they've got a very big badge and they've got a gun. Having the fire marshal, having a codes inspector, having a police officer, health was involved with that. Health inspectors went along and they coordinated their activities to places that needed attention. That worked pretty well for a long period of time. And then at some point, the administration back then made a determination that that was not a way to proceed, and that task force was ended.
Oh, just a second.
Yes.
Ms. Kimbrough? Did you have a question? You had your hand up.
Yes, I don't understand. Okay. So basically, codes is gonna work, you working with the beer permit board, is that right?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you giving them two
Money.
spots you have.
We're giving them the funding for 2 positions that we have that are unfilled.
Could you do something else with the money, or does your money have to go just for that?
Currently, we could use that money to hire 2 more property standards inspectors. However, we don't feel like we need those inspectors at this point in time because we feel like we're in an optimal position. We've got 4 property standards chiefs, and each one of those chiefs has 6 inspectors for a total of 24 inspectors. That's a sweet spot for us. We feel like we're most efficient right there. We've got 2 positions that have remained unfilled. So we're taking the money from those 2 positions and sending it over to the beer board so that they could use it.
How long have they been unfilled?
Oh, 2 years?
Beginning of last fiscal year, 2 fiscal years ago. This started in '23.
So you couldn't have taken that money and said, well, this is enough to cover, I don't know how it works, but maybe 3 or 4 entry-level positions or codes inspect, you can't just reallocate the money?
We can't do that. We can't drop it into different, that's why this is before you by ordinance.
Yeah.
As opposed to us just doing it administratively, we can't. So there was a study done several years back of the codes department, the number of inspectors, what we needed. That study came in and made massive recommendations on the number of inspectors we needed, not just property standards, but building, staffing, all across the board. Council was very generous to the codes department and gave us that money. When council gave me that money years ago, I said, this is wonderful, but I cannot hire all these people. I cannot onboard all these people at one time. We can't train them. There's no way we can do this. So we're gonna march this out after a few years and steadily ramp up. We are ramped up right now. And our building inspections down, we're at same day service to next day turnaround on that. We're good, and we feel like property standards good. And Councilman Easter, you know, it's the enforcement aspect of the property. It's the court part of the property standards issue that is slowing that process down so much. And we're doing everything we can to address that.
Hold on, just wait. You got one more question that you want to ask, and then I need to go to Mr. Nash over here next.
Well, I'm just trying to, so.
Okay. You had a question, sir?
Not so much a question. I'm going to support this ordinance. A little bit of love is better than no love.
Absolutely.
And I think we've designated a nightlife coordinator downtown for a purpose because things were so, it's big. It's not like nothing out in my district with people, tourists, residents. I mean, used to be nobody lived downtown. Now we got 19, 20,000 people that they call that a residence, trying to bump up against some show places that can be disturbing. So I think to send a couple of people down there to get this project that kind of enforcement started is not bad. Secondly, when I have a noisy place that occasionally does work up, I call the police department. And I've had very good success in getting them to go over and quiet down. They get their little noise meter out. And so we're not totally left without any kind of enforcement. And I've had them come by at night to check on lights, codes, yes. So apparently occasionally they'll sneak out at nighttime for light enforcement or something. So I think I can support this, and if we need more, I'd like to see that task force maybe get back together again. It wasn't a full-time thing, but it was like once a month they'd get together and go out and touch the folks that they'd had a lot of complaints on.
Ms. Ellis?
I'm going to say no. We shouldn't. I have you all scheduled to do a virtual community meeting next month because I want to learn about some of the enhancements or improvements that you all have done. But your department currently has 2 partially implemented things from the audit that was done 2 years ago. So why would you move money out of codes when it's the largest block of complaints of the services that we provide to our constituents? Downtown has enough. I don't want any money funneled into downtown that can be used in departments that service areas outside of the downtown circle. I'm sorry, before you speak,
If you introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, before he speaks, I'd like to get a reply on the outstanding things that you all have with the audit and just, the code's not exactly being buttoned up from a previous audit that was committed or conducted back in 2021. It was reviewed again in 23, 24, and there's still things that are impartial.
Okay, I would need to see that audit to know specifically what they are.
It's on Nashville.gov.
I would still need to see that audit to see exactly what the specifics are on that. But I feel like our department is running pretty
Well, I'll tell you specifically, it's one of the things when it comes to the enforcement part of it. And as I have understand from various emails, you all have hired a paralegal to deal specifically with the environmental court. That's only a partial implementation from what was recommended from the audit committee.
And an attorney. We have an attorney that we are fully funding that position that's full-time in environmental.
Okay, but I'm not going to just sit here and believe that you all are fully operational when almost 30% of the issues in my district are not closed, open property violations.
It sounds like the community meeting might be beneficial because I can explain this process. It is not the fact that we are not tagging these people, that we're not writing the warrants, that we're not writing the citations. We're doing all of that. The matter is getting them in front of the judge, getting the cases heard, getting the judge to give orders, and then enforcing those orders.
So why not hire 2 attorneys?
We had to fully fund the position through Metro.
I don't want to tell you how to run your department. Those are the reasons that I'm opposed to sending the money for these positions out.
Hold on just a second. Mr. McDonald, do you want to say something about?
Yeah, I just
If
wanted
you just introduce yourself, please.
Benton McDonough. I'm with Nightlife and also with Metro Beer Board, and just wanted to add that the positions are not specifically for downtown. That's where we are starting initially, as far as the oversight goes, because our office is down here, and so it's easy to work with MNPD in and around the entertainment district. But the idea is that it's going to be county-wide. So we do actually have complaints that we receive on a regular basis outside of the entertainment district that deal with nightclubs and things of that nature, and so we will definitely be addressing those. So I don't want you to think that this is something that's specifically for downtown, because that is not the case. And if you have any issues that pop up during the evening and overnight, then we're happy to address those as they come.
Real quick, because we're over time and we need to get through this.
Just for Councilman Rose, I've got cases right now that are still open. Codes has been out, cited, gone back to re-inspections, cited, got them into court. The court says, well, I'm going to give you a little time to get it fixed. Then they may not show up the next time after they get it fixed. So their attorneys are doing what they're supposed to do.
Well, that's why I have a meeting scheduled.
It's just the court process that slows this
What happens in
down.
your district, I'm talking about my district.
Well, and I suspect that
I don't know if it's order or question. I got a point of something.
Yes.
It sounds like we're going back and forth, answering to a council person, answering to a council person. I don't think that's the proper protocol in a committee.
Well, the question should come to me, and then I take that question to whoever has the question or whoever may possibly have the answer, if I'm understanding correctly. And that's what I was about to do.
Sorry.
Sorry. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's just my experience.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
No.
Man, I'm not cutting you off. You're welcome to talk.
No,
as
I'm
long as-
totally fine. I'm just at my level of tolerance for getting sort of preached at from senior members of council. So, hence the outburst. So I'm sorry.
You're welcome to continue talking as much as you want.
No, I'm fine. Like I said, we have a virtual meeting set up, and I appreciate you deferring to Bill Penn is coming out to do virtual Zoom, and you, yeah. So, and Will, you've been in my district multiple times. If I were to support this, they would put me on the cross.
And I will add real quick too, I think at this meeting we have scheduled, we'll be able to explain.
I hope so.
And it won't be specifics, like the specifics in these districts are very different, but there's some overall themes as far as the process that are the same.
Yeah.
And I've done that before. We went to Smith Springs Church, we met there. I was able to talk to people about specific processes. I think that may help.
Okay.
I think it'll give you a better understanding of how that plays into this and how this might be a little bit different. But that's what that meeting's for, and you'll have our full attention there.
So can I make a motion to defer? Or
You
is it-
can, yeah.
Second.
I want to make a motion to defer.
Motion properly seconded.
So my meeting's on March the 11th. So I don't know when the second
Two
meeting.
meetings?
Second meeting in March, so 2 meetings.
Yeah, at least two.
Okay.
Okay. Can I refer back to you
The first
all?
meeting
Is
in
that
April.
going to be detrimental to wait
Yeah.
2 meetings?
So just, I'm sorry.
Mr. McDonald, is that gonna mess you up to wait 2 meetings?
I mean, we're happy to
To this
work at the
moved and
pleasure of
seconded.
It's second.
the city council.
'Cause I'm in favor of this. I think this is a great idea. It's a great thing, and I'm in favor of this. But if there needs to be pushed down so that all answers are answered, all questions are answered, and everybody feels good about this, then that's what we should do. So all those in favor of defer for
Wait,
2
I just want to
meetings?
clarify my motion for the record. Thank you.
So 2 meetings to March.
I'm sorry, whenever.
She wants to restate it. She wants to
Restate
change-
it.
Yeah.
Tell me the words. Move it to be deferred to the first meeting in April.
Which looks like April 1st.
Yeah.
April Fools?
Tuesday.
March
April
18th or
1st.
April 1.
Which one? March 18th or April 1st?
April 1, April 1. Because I still have to talk to folks after we have the meeting to make sure that.
So it's been moved,
Second.
He's second.
properly seconded, to defer this until April the 1st. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Anybody not voting?
I'm not voting, I'm abstaining.
Huh?
I'm abstaining. I'm not voting.
I apologize. I came across as preachy. I was trying to share my experience.
Father Nash, Pastor Nash.
I wish you had a newsletter.
Can I?
All right, that's, our meeting is adjourned.
All right, thanks.